guys. So I changed the analytical response prompt assignment guide to help you guys do a better job on it. I think we would have been fine if I'd have been able to do lectures and things with the old prompt, but I've made this a good deal simpler, and I've made the prompt a lot more specific so there would be no guesswork on your part, so you can do exactly as the directions say. I understand that you guys probably have not done analysis before, so I tried to make the instructions as clear as possible so that you can meet all of the elements of analysis that you learned from reading chapter 13 in your Everyone's an Author book. Remember that this is a new genre for you guys, and I'm also combining 3 new genres, or 3 separate genres that you guys have worked with a little bit. So we're doing summary, we're doing analysis, and we're doing response in this one paper. And it's a really good way of me being able to test your ability to do all 3 of those skills in one assignment, as opposed to making you do it in 3 different assignments. So again, I've changed this to make it easier and more accessible, but it does require that you guys follow the instructions very exactly, and that you just, you can be creative, but don't try to recreate the format here. It's specific for a reason. Alrighty, so why are we doing analysis? Analysis is something you're going to use in professional work, in school for sure, and really in your life. Analysis is a big component of critical thinking. Critical thinking, as you know, is a way we look at and understand a problem so that we can find relevant, viable solutions that don't cause other new problems. So if you think about it, analysis, knowing how to analyze a situation, knowing how to analyze something that you're reading, whether that's a tax document or a letter you get from an employer, or a job interview question, or maybe even a job post to see what skills and what kind of person they're looking for, so you can dovetail your resume to fit that that situation. Analysis is really helpful. So analysis does a couple of things. It develops your critical thinking skills in a very specific direction. And those critical thinking skills help you decide what kinds of components in any situation or a text or any problem are really the most important to prioritize. That helps you build knowledge and of the situation, of the text, of the problem. And the more you know, the more you can improve your reaction to it and how you're processing that. So when I say improve processes, I do mean reading and writing processes, which is the focus of this class. But beyond that, even your solution processes, how you're responding to different things in your life. In work, I've done a lot of analyzing of our Canvas site, for example, to improve it, to make it more effective, so that you guys basically have a one-stop shop. It's one of the reasons I did the homepage again, to make sure you guys had a one-stop shop. And so just beyond that, just for the class, you're going to improve your critical reading, summary, and quotation. We're finally going to use quotations. Yay! And do all that for this class. So it meets so many different learning objectives. Alrighty, so everything you're going to use is in Module 3. We've already looked at a couple of the things. So we're going to be analyzing the text called What is Happiness? It's by John Ciardi. He was a poet and a philosopher who was writing a lot in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And he's just kind of like a social critic, but also a teacher and an educator. Really cool guy. So each of the individual homework assignments that I'm posting in Canvas now, I think they're all up there. They're all going to help you do the steps. So it's really important that you do the homework assignments in order on time to keep you on track with this process. So we've already submitted the first one, writing analytically. If you haven't done that one yet, don't panic. You can still do it. Get it done. and then keep working through. Everything that I'm posting here is going to help you write pieces of the paper or learn critical skills that you'll need to do this paper. And there are 2 handouts and exercises that you will have. I'm going to be going over the analytical response template in a separate video, and then the building effective body paragraphs in a separate video as well. So keep an eye out for those. Alrighty, so what is happiness is what we call an argument of definition. It's meant to be persuasive in that Chiardi's asking his readers to rethink what their current definitions of happiness. Obviously, it's really individual, but he's saying he wants us to think of happiness in a different way. So you're going to summarize his essay, then analyze the components of his definition, and then respond to his definition in your analytical response essay. Finally, you're going to share your insight about what your examination, your analysis, reveals about happiness. Okay, so we're going to look here, and this is what I want you to do. This is what I meant when I said just follow along this format. Don't get creative on me. I really do just want you to follow along this format. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is write a correct summary of Chiardi's essay and include an analytical thesis statement. I will be posting another video that talks about what an analytical thesis statement is and how to do one. So also you want to, in the body, I'm asking you guys to write separate paragraphs about the following topic, right? So you can see A through G are all separate body paragraphs. So if we count, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 body paragraphs that you guys will be writing for this paper. Okay, so first of all, I want you to identify the intended audience of the essay and give examples of how you know. I want you to talk about the idea of materialism, spiritualism, balance, effort and difficulty, and then becoming. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components form Chiardi's definition of happiness. This is what he says. He takes us through this kind of idea of saying materialism is how some people do it, spiritualism is how other people do it, but really we need to balance our approach, our spiritual and material approach to happiness, and we need to incorporate effort and difficulty into that balance. We need to balance the effort and difficulty, but we need to choose kinds of goals that are difficult and require our effort so that we can continue in this process of becoming happy. And that's really his idea. If you will recall, this is Mark Manson in this Choosing Your Struggle. This is what he was talking about. So I hope you guys will use your good knowledge of Mark Manson's essay to understand this concept of balancing effort and difficulty so that you're constantly becoming, you're constantly striving. It's a journey here. All right, and then at the end, after you've analyzed all of these paragraphs, don't worry, I will show you how to do that in another video. I want you guys to respond. Just choose one idea. You're going to choose a quotation that represents an idea that you think is the most important. And it could be important to you for lots of different reasons. This is why I'm calling it a response paragraph. I want you to respond. Response is always personal. It's also always opinion, experience, and emotion driven. So that's what I want you guys to do. Think about, kind of what you think is the most important point, and then explain it. Why do you think the idea is important? How do you connect to it? What does it make you think about your own view or practice of happiness? Okay, so in your conclusion then, you're going to share the insight you've gained through your analysis. That means I want you to answer this question very specifically. And I want you to go beyond the idea that Chiardi is simply he wants to share his opinion. But why does he want to share his opinion, and specifically to the audience he's trying to talk to? Why is he talking to them? What does he want them to understand? And how do you know that? Right? How do you know that? So that's what your conclusion is going to talk about. So you have an introduction, that's 1 paragraph, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs, right? 9 paragraphs. So that's going to be about 4 pages and 1,200 words. And that 1,200 words does not include your works cited page. All right. So resources, again, chapter 13 for writing analytically. And then we're gonna keep looking at chapter 25 for quoting, summarizing, and paraphrasing, chapter 26 for avoiding plagiarism, and chapter 27 for MLA format. So those are all really good resources for you guys to look at. Remember also that I posted a YouTube video on in module number 3 that shows you exactly, it still like walks you through how to use Word and make an MLA format document. So you can watch that as well. Okay, so remember, you are not using the any outside research or internet sources, okay, to write this paper. It's all gotta be you. And then you're using I in this essay, but you're not using any second person, no use at all. And then I'm really looking for correct citation, including a correct works cited page in this one. We're going to talk more about clear, relevant, vivid ideas, okay? And we're going to talk more about using accurate direct quotations and correct signal phrases as we kind of go through. Remember, we're not using parenthetical citations. They're not appropriate for this genre. Also, you haven't been trained on them yet. So let's just avoid them and just use signal phrases for now. All right. Hope that's helpful. Remember, as usual, we'll go over this again in another video, but I want you guys to remember you always have this checklist that's going to help you stay on track and just make sure that you have everything that you need before you turn this in. But again, more on that in as we kind of go through. All right. Hope that's helpful.